Hello. What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's doing okay. Aratastico, the stream is starting now. Happy to have you here. Hope you guys are alright. So today, I thought it would be a fun idea to do a little bit of a storyboard live for you guys. I've never done that before, and I think it'd be a cool thing to show you guys the process of making an animation from the start. I want to make a Halloween themed animation today, and it could be pretty fun. What's up, guys? Victor, what's up? TFC, good to see you. We got Jess Carr. Got Claudio. Man, everyone's religious with it. Nice to see you guys here. So, yeah, I think the idea for this stream, and I should probably write what the actual storyboard is first. So I want to make an animation about the raccoons trick-or-treating, and they keep knocking on Bean's door, and Bean keeps having to turn them away because they keep coming back for more and more candy. And eventually they come up with a plan to disguise themselves, and it all goes a bit funny, and it won't make any sense until it's actually all put together. But yeah, we'll find out and we'll have fun with it. So yeah, I'll get started. And also the audio should be fixed, because I think last stream it was really messy because I was using Streamlabs and it just didn't agree with my computer. So this stream I'm using the good old-fashioned OBS, and we should be okay. It's a pretty cool idea. I don't know, we'll see. A lot of this is trial and error, so let's find out. I don't even know if this process will be fun to watch, but hopefully. So I'm gonna write the idea down. Bean puts out candy for raccoons take too much candy. Bean gets annoyed. That's the basic idea. Yeah, we're going to do a bean animation today. Now this process can take a while, so bear with. Hopefully it's a little bit more streamlined. I'll try and keep it concise because I can faff. But yeah. So let's see how it goes. And let me know if the format and everything looks cool. Love the series, my guy. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. I don't think my handwriting's very good at all. That's that left-handed messed up handwriting because I used to smudge all of my schoolwork. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. So I think the first frame is going to be the raccoons coming up to the door. So when I do these little storyboards, I just try and keep them as simple as possible. And we're really just thinking about framing and what the story beats are going to be. And this is a good way of seeing like what works in the frame, what doesn't. So yeah. So we're going to have 3 little raccoons here. I actually don't know the raccoons' names. They're a bit vague as characters go. I'm also going to have to give them outfits since it's Halloween. I should also probably dress up the outside of the house too. This is Bean's front door. Maybe we could have some ideas for outfits in the chat. Oh, I appreciate that, Rachel. Oh, that last video it's really divided people. I posted it today about 2 hours ago. And I love the meme, and I was like, I need to make this, but with Doggo and Kato. And when I started making it, I didn't realize how cursed it was gonna look. But I just kept going. And then quickly realized that this was gonna be a weird one. Anyway, we move. I thought it was pretty fun. So I'll do the door here. And I couldn't think of a caption for ages. It was just so cursed. But yeah, the comments are always like way better. Sorry, I gotta move my mic. Give one raccoon a vampire outfit. I think it will be cute. Definitely will do a vampire outfit. I'm thinking vampire, I'm thinking werewolf, and maybe Frankenstein. Or just like a pumpkin. Maybe like a pumpkin suit. That's always cute. And what should I do? What's like a classic outdoorsy... Oh, I guess they need pumpkins outside. So I'll just sketch those in. Maybe like a stack of pumpkins. Maybe like a big spider. Just something simple. Keeping it simple. Don't get too busy with all the little things in the draft. Oh my goodness. This is why the animations take so long, is I just doing too much. It's not necessary. Or maybe it is. Maybe that's the secret. I don't know. Thinking a big cobweb too. And I just ruined the spider. Yeah, I'll be posting this one as a short. I want to make it about 45 seconds long, so it's going to be a little bit of a long one. Usually they're like 20 seconds, so we'll see how it pans out. Maybe I'll go a bit quicker. I never really know how it's going to go until it's all put together. So we've got that. We could do maybe a couple of stickers on the door, some skeletons. Like a Actually, no, usually it's like the caution tape. I'll do that. Maybe it's a bit trite, but yeah, let's do that. So we're gonna have the doorbell go as the first sort of noise that comes in. Just making sure I'm grouping all of these. Right, so we're gonna have one vampire. And then I think I'll put the pumpkin boy over here. And then what was the other one that we had? Maybe as a green bean? Oh, that would be funny. Yeah, vampire outfit. Frankenstein is a classic. Yeah, I'll do Bean as a runner bean. That's funny. Well, the idea was, without spoiling it, for them to realize that it's only one candy per person, and so they eventually decide to all dress in one big ghost outfit, and sort of like that comedically stacked on top of each other. Almost missed. Hey Julia, appreciate you guys coming in. Right, so we got Frankenstein, Dracula, and Pumpkin. That was a good start, I think. So we'll do like a ding dong. Ding dong. I'm gonna try and have this one posted, I think, well, obviously by next week. It would suck if it if it took too long to make. What day are we on? We're on the 21st. If I get it done by next week, it'll be the 28th, and then we're in that nice Halloween window. So posting on Halloween sucks because it might do well for like one day, and then people are so over it by November 1st. It was like, what was all that effort for? But yeah, we'll be well in the window, I think. So ding dong on the door, and then we have Bean open the door. So I gotta animate that now. I'm gonna make a few versions of, let's see if I can't do this. Sorry, screen's gonna look weird. There we go. That's not bad. I'll turn this into background layer. Background. And then do a few little keyframes. This is the cheeky way of showing a door opening with minimal effort. You just adjust it like so. Yeah, so look, the door's opening. Ooh. Guys, we're flying. It's this easy. I will make it look nice and fancy afterwards, but we're really just, we're getting the basics. So then I want this one, and I want Bean to, ooh, move my mic up. I keep hitting it with the pen. What's up, Joyskov? Nice to see you. For the vibes. The whole crew here. Right, so we're going to do Bean in a, what are they called? Runner Bean edamame type costume. It's going to be really strange for people who don't know what the bean is called, but if you do know, then you know. How am I going to do these arms? Maybe Bean could actually, he could just be a little face in the costume rather than the whole outfit. Yeah, there we go. Draw the eyes. And yeah, just being super quick with it. Don't be precious. It's all just coming together. I'm not even going to color. I don't got time for that. Oh, Bean looks kind of weird with the legs like that though. Low key. Sorry, my zoomer energy was coming out then. Right. Make the legs a little bit smaller. Oh, it's okay, Jennifer. Yeah, we're doing a free animation course. This is my Skillshare video. I don't know if it'll be any good, and I'm definitely... I didn't go to school for storyboarding or anything, so this is going to be interesting. But this is my process, guys. It's just how it's... This is how the beans get cooked. Beans cooked? We'll find out. So I want to do a little frame before the next one where Bean is opening the door. Just super simple. Maybe put a little foot in there. And we're gonna be like, "Ooh, hello." I like to do one frame afterwards just to emphasize the movement a little bit. Kind of like that. As if Bean's already whipping the door open. That'll make the start of the animation a little bit more kind of energetic. Kind of looks like a, yeah, maybe, I don't know if, I mean, when the green gets on Bean, then we'll know exactly what Bean is, but until then, I mean, honestly, Bean kind of looks like a fidget toy or something. Let's do a little outline for the door there. Okay. Oh, that's way too fast. Just turn that down. So we go from still to whoop, hello. And that is the first sequence. So we have the ding dong. And then whoop. That's it. It's that easy. Yeah, Bean is a pea pod. We couldn't think of anything better. Actually, no, that is the best idea possible, so. Me too, Claudia. I'm always amazed. And then they progressively get slower as the energy leaves my body. But hey, there we go. Right, frame one is done. And it looks like a mess. And we put it away. Bye-bye. So the next one, I want to be a close-up on the raccoons on the steps. So I'm just going to do the little outlines of the bodies with some whiskers. And I think this was the pumpkin one. And they're going to have little trick-or-treat bags. So maybe like this. And they're going to look like cats until I do the coloring. I give them a little pumpkin hat. And they're all going to be saying trick or treat in the most annoying accent possible. No, I'm kidding. I might just make it like Animalese, sort of a Animal Crossing type noise, not even vocal. It's just implied noise, which is way nicer. I tell you what, like doing voice acting is honestly the hardest part, because it's the one that really stands out if you can't quite nail it. The animation, you know, people are very forgiving, but voice acting, oh my goodness. Yeah, it looks kind of like Kato. Honestly, the secret to the raccoons is they are literally the same build as Kato, except for whiskers, and then they have a slight sort of, what you call it, face not balaclava type. I don't know what it's called. It's like a little mask, but it's just the color of their coat. Do that. So we've got one little pumpkin raccoon. I'm gonna force the perspective a little bit because we're seeing this now from Bean's perspective. So let me just show that by putting the top of Bean's bean pod outfit there, sort of as foreground. And I like to use just little lines to kind of emphasize where I'm going to shade. So once we do that, we're going to do the other raccoons. I'm actually going to do them all in one layer. So what was the other one, the Frankenstein? Oops. How do I do this? Frankenstein's kind of got one of those. Now the real Frankenstein is actually quite, you know, cloaked and whatnot, but I think for the purposes of, you know, just doing the archetypal Frankenstein type costume, we'll keep it very crude, and yeah, I do it like this. I want to have the whiskers sticking out a little bit too. And I just do the eyes like that because it's way faster. But maybe in the real thing they'll be open. We'll see. I don't do the voices. That's actually Ollie. He is a legend. Ollie's incredible. And sometimes when Ollie can't do them, we find someone else who can. Yeah, some voices are very, very tricky. I remember when we did that our first really long animation for YouTube, which was being at the museum. It's an absolute classic if you haven't seen it. But that took forever, and the reason why it took forever was because there was quite a lot of voice acting, and it was my first time ever animating proper voice acting, and you don't realize how tricky it is to make it look natural. And I still think that there's some bits I watch back and I'm like, oof. Yeah. Anyway, we got it done, but I'm very proud of that animation. It was a labor of love. Oh, he's got that side thing going on. Yeah. Actually, people will be like, that's not Frankenstein. Right. Kind of looks a little bit like a Wes Anderson type. I'd love to get Ollie on a live stream. I think it'd be really fun to have him down in the office and just talk about his process too, because I know he's done a few videos with us where he's broken down how he makes the audio, and they're really, really good, and his editing skills are so clear. It's just like, oh, that's how you make that. So I think he would be great to have here, and we could maybe have a pre-made animation and then have him just sort of freestyle on top, and I'll give some suggestions here and there. But yeah, that'd be wonderful. Okay. There's your Dracula raccoon. We'd have the cape sort of drooping a little bit, I think. I might make their legs a little bit smaller, just for cuteness purposes. This one's kind of chubby though. Nothing wrong with that. He's been having a good Halloween so far. There we go. Yeah, I like that. That's cute. What does Dracula wear on the bottom? It's kind of got like a nice little three-piece suit. Oops. Doesn't matter, because I'm going to put a bowl there. There we go. Can literally see my brain working in real time. That's huge. Big brain. Right then, there we go. Cool. So they're on the doorstep. Let's do the little outliney thing there. His head's a little bit big. I'm gonna bring it down, and then also, doesn't Dracula have a little bit of a hairdo? Okay. And they're saying trick or treat. Messed that one up. It's like maximum effort on one side, and then it just gets lazy by the end. There we go. Trick or treat. Spirit Halloween costumes are nothing compared to Ketnipz Halloween costumes. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. I've actually never been to a Spirit Halloween. I know that they sort of just emerge in the States out of nowhere when October comes. What's up, Mihoko? Nice to have you here. Yeah, thank you guys all for joining. So this is the second frame, and I want to do just a little bit of animation on top to emphasize them sort of shouting. So when I do these extra little keyframes, I try to keep it, again, pretty simple. And we're just gonna sort of show a little bit of a bob. So not much of a storyboard, I'm already animating, but it's nice because when I make the next draft and put it together, I can sort of see what animation I previously wanted to emphasize. And then make sure that the toes are sort of poised a little bit. And the tail go up. So it's kind of like, boop, like hello. This is the most satisfying bit of animating because you can just be so simple with it, and it's nice to sort of see the idea that's been brewing in your head for a week come to life. It's alive, in the words of Victor Frankenstein. So with these, I just put a little bit of a squash on the characters. It's like barely even noticeable. That old squash and stretch. If you can get that technique down in animating, that's half the battle, honestly. Just proportions and whatnot. And I still don't quite get it right, but there we go. Boop. Okie doke. Let's do the vampire. That's cute. Yeah, they take all the candy. I also need to work out what kind of candy Bean is offering. And then we'd like to do an alternative ending on Patreon for our paid members, where I just sort of rework a little bit of the ending. So with this one, I'm thinking that maybe, you know, Bean gets really annoyed at the raccoons and, you know, says like no more treats or something, or, you know, gets mad and then gets himself into trouble with some people who aren't actually the raccoons. I think that could be funny. The alternative was the raccoons make a new outfit, and then Bean suspects the raccoons of trespassing, and then, you know, pulls the outfit off and discovers that it's not in fact the raccoons, and it's just spoiled someone's Halloween. But I'm not quite sure. So there you go. And then this one I'll just be super lazy and just distort. There we go. So if I speed that up, it should look something like this. Kind of like trick or treat, a little bit of a jump. And I'll do a quick little outline of the steps. Or maybe a road. Or the front porch. trees. I think there's a fence as well. Yeah. Also shows some of the other pumpkins and stuff. Paraphernalia in the front yard. There we go. Some leaves for good measure. And do we bother with the next frame being reacting and being like, ooh, so cute, and then giving them, yeah, I think that would be cool. Would it be adorable if you made a little clip after the end where one of the raccoon's smarter siblings, or perhaps their parents, ninja by yeah, they're definitely going to be stealing at the end. So we'll go trick or treat, and then I'll do a little close up. So we'll have between Frankenstein and vampire. This will be our foreground for the next frame. And then the focus will be on Bean in the middle. And I probably won't even, I'll show the edge of the door, but it's going to be pretty punched in, so it's unnecessary. And then I think it'd be nice to have Bean say maybe like Happy Halloween in response. Maybe that would be kind of weird. A lot of talking in one. Maybe just Bean looking like kind of cuted out, like woo. Oh, I forgot the top one. There we go. Do those little things in the eyes so we know where Bean's emotion's at. Yeah, some Jaffa cakes would be good. Oh no, I can't give them a potato as a candy. That's just rude. But then again, that reminds me of potatoes and molasses from Over the Garden Wall. That could be cute. So there we go. Sabine's like noticing them. Let's do a little pop reference. And this is really it. It's just getting these little bits down so that it makes the job somewhat easier later on. We'll do like the hand coming up. Jelly beans. Now that is a bit on the nose. But a classic nonetheless. I saw this one reel where it was by an animator, and it was so good, but it was a bit morbid. I don't know if I should talk about it, but yeah, maybe not. But it was like all these different kids trying different jelly bean flavors, and you know, you get those flavors where there's sort of like a mystery. And one of them's like, ooh, it tastes like boogers, and ooh, it tastes like, and then the last one, he tries this jelly bean, and then they're like, what does it taste like? What does it taste like? He's like, I'm not sure. And then he says, he reads the packet and he says, well, it's either meant to taste like coffee or death. And then like, can you tell us what it is? And he's like, well, it's not coffee. And then he just like falls over. But yeah, so it's really dark, but it was like quite a funny. I don't know if it's actually that funny, but the way he made it was good. Anyway, I don't think we'll be making any morbid beans anytime soon. We'll keep it light. Although I do appreciate novel ideas on Instagram. That is always nice. It's the problem though, I spend too long on Instagram. I just end up scrolling and scrolling. But I should be the one just posting. That's my job. I can't be scrolling and posting. There we go. So Bean's kind of like, ooh, ooh. And then we'll duck down and grab the bowl and start giving them some candy. As agile as a bean sprout can be. That's funny. Yeah. Cute out bean is top tier bean. That's the classic. At this point, I've drawn that expression so many times, I should just have it saved and I don't have to reanimate it. But it's always fun to do. It's easy, it's quick. He goes like, wow. And then grabs the bowl. And then I need that reference for the last one. So now Bean is holding the sweetie bowl. Yeah, pretty clean. I'm starting to feel myself be like a little bit precious about this, and I think it's just the added pressure of having a few people watch. But but I like it. It's if I'm being thorough at this stage, it makes the rest of the animation a lot easier. So I kind of appreciate it. It's always fun to drawing with other people, because anytime I get stuck I can just be like, hey, what do I do here? So this stream is ready for me, but cool. Alright, so we're keeping the candies vague for now. I think they're in there though, and I think Bean's face is looking a little strange, so I'm gonna just squash it a little bit better. Thanks, Joy. This is not the usual speed, I promise you. But this is... I gotta get most of this done in like the next 3 hours, so we're going that speed. So just for emphasis sake, I'm gonna show you what it will kind of look like. It's like, whoop, and then grabs the ball. Yeah. So grabs the ball, reaches into the bowl, and then we'll have 1 or 2 frames where Bean sort of rummaging. A couple of lines to emphasize the rummage. And as you can tell, I'm really not being precious about Bean's fingers. Because I think I just drew 7. No, not usually faster than this at all. I'm usually sort of half the speed, watching a YouTube video and snacking at the same time. And what should take 2 hours becomes about 5 hours. Not a bad way to spend half a day. And the rest of the animation is more time consuming but less brain energy consuming, because I don't have to think about anything. I'm kind of just tracing over what I've done and making a few more frames to smoothen it up. And yeah, that's the process. Inside baseball. Okay, so we got the arm in there, and then I'm just gonna duplicate the layer, delete the arm, and then wait for the huge hack. Oh, actually, I need to get rid of that too. Just gonna show the rummage. Cool. And then excuse the foreground, but it should look a little bit like that. Like, nice. And then begins to hand them out. Bean's very careful to just choose one for each of them. Wow. Curved lines are my enemy. You know, it's really bad when you have to undo about 3 times. I end up doing that when I draw on paper as well. I'll like click the screen. Oof. It's become a bad habit. Fear not, Bean comes in peas. That is wonderful. Oh. So many puns. This is a fruitful pun environment. And I've forgotten to do the lines. Ah, shucks. Doesn't matter. So it kind of looks like that, which is nice. And because the next frame is going to be Bean handing out the candies to them, I don't have to be super, you know, in depth there. It can just be that it cuts off there, and then maybe we do a little pop as well for this bit. No, it's not necessary. Not necessary, keep it moving. That's the way we do. Damn, we got 3 little scenes down already. Not bad. Okay, so the next one is that close up on. I might change the perspective a little bit and have it so we focus on each of the raccoons one by one. So how am I going to do that? Because I want it, basically I want it like this, where we see each one's reaction to the candy. And Bean's going to be dropping them in the candy bowl. Kind of like this. And I've literally just drawn Kato. Wait, now it's a raccoon. Nice. Good save. Oof, it's looking rough, this one. Okay. Big old chin on him. Hold up. Okay. So if I just draw the, oh, that's how I'll do it. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'll use this as a reference, just so I know how each character is gonna be framed. But in the edit, I will sort of pan from one character to the next character to the next one. But Bean's arm will stay consistent in that movement. So I'll need to do, I'll do Bean, I'll use the raccoon as a reference here, and then I'll do the arm stretch out from Bean and drop the candy. So gonna have the arm looking a bit like that. Which arm was it? I've forgotten. So it's actually the left arm. So I need to do the thumb kind of reaching out like this. So the thumb is going to be on the inside that we see. Okay. Oh, the hands. That's why Bean has like tiny little fingers. Is I'm really not trying to draw too much detail in hands. Oh, you're good, man. It's all good. We're just chilling. This is not going to be a very... I probably won't do any polls or anything crazy. I'm just talking through the process. So there's a one shot before then. Let's make this a foreground actually, so I know. And by the way, I'm using Procreate to do this, so really not like a super technical software, but it does allow you to sort of pin background references, and then the animation function's really nice in it too. So let's do that. Maybe move that around a little bit. It looks like a stump, but it's Bean's elbow before protruding. So let me show a little bit of that. I have no idea how this is going to look. And it was the thumb on the outside. Okay. Bop. And then Bean releases the candy. Ooh, that's rough. There we go. I want the arm to sort of move up a little bit as well and begin moving back, so we can keep the movement very quick in between each shot. So, but looks a little bit strange. Maybe it's because like the wrist doesn't really line up. Hang on. Yeah, that's nice. Something like that. And we'll have the candy fall out like this. A little smiley face on it. What do you guys think? Not bad so far. And we'll have the arm come back in. Like so. Just, that's a nice little neat motion there. And so now that we've got that outline done, I can edit the type of candy falling and whatnot, and yeah, we can worry about that afterwards. But this is neat. So arm's done. I'll leave that as a little reference there. Moving on, I'm gonna do the raccoon sort of being delighted. So looking at Bean first, and then we'll have the eyes moving down, sort of pop like, ah, nice. And I can't forget the whiskers. Yeah, my friend the other day said that they've been watching the stream as they go to bed because they find it to be quite relaxing. And I don't know if that was a compliment or whether that was like a criticism, because I'm not that. I'm like just entertaining enough to have on before falling asleep. But that was cool. I thought that's nice. I think that's the goal with this. We're not going to Mr. Beastify the live stream. This is not a Kaisenat stream. We won't be having any special guests or anything crazy. We're just doodling. But it would be nice to have some other animators and people come on and maybe share the process a little bit. Do a little contest. Something nice and chill. Nothing too spectacular. So we've got a little pumpkin boy here. Almost forgot his hat. There we go. And then duplicate that. Get the eyes to look down. And then I'm gonna get rid of that reference frame. Move them up. I appreciate that, Claudio. Cozy vibes. That's what's up. I like putting on history documentaries on YouTube before falling asleep, and they try and be they try and be all energetic and whatnot, but they actually end up being quite well, I think just the subject matter can be pretty boring when you're talking about the Napoleonic Wars and you sort of, oh, they're just meandering in Austria or, you know, something or other. It can be pretty dull. No matter how much flair you put on your vocal tone, it's always going to be a little bit dull. Cool. So then the raccoon's like, ah, it's got a little candy. Do a little bit of movement in the arm, kind of popping up. And then I want the eyes to become sort of maybe either hearts or just like beans ones before, where they got that like shade or light on them. Yeah. And if I do the pupils super small here, then when they pop, they'll look even better. Ooh, that's an excited raccoon. Maybe a little bit too excited. I don't know how good one candy is. Oh no, did you get ads on these? That's never good. Yeah, ads popping up just as you're falling asleep is maybe not the vibe. I'm trying to think of the most annoying one. That's why I thought like, oh, this was another thing too, is should we stream on Twitch, because then we have the chat that can just keep going, or should we just make a Discord? I don't know what would be better. Maybe just a Discord for now, for the live stream group. Could be fun. Because I like Twitch, the fact that you can just have an active chat when it's not on. But I also am kind of afraid of the Twitch interface, and I feel like they're a little bit restrictive. Yeah, do the Discord. That might be the move. The problem is with YouTube is the lives get a little bit lost, and because there's like YouTube is mainly just pre-recorded videos. They're not a platform dedicated to yeah, and Twitch has way too many ads as well. I don't think that's the move. I think just keep it on YouTube. Keep them simple. There we go. So then we'll do a little in-between frame. This is one other hack as well, where if you just draw in between the lines, then you get your new frame, and you can just move the location of that frame instead of having to kind of guess the proportions and whatnot. Nice. So it shouldn't run like this. It should run a little like this. So it's like raccoon pops up and then comes back down, and then the eyes are enthralled. Like that. So it's like, boop. And then if they bounce back and forth in the pupils, then it gives that sense of like, ooh. Like he's like, ah, what is in there? Don't know if that makes sense. Oh, my back. There we go. But that's nice. And then I'll have to think about how am I going to do the other characters? Because there's 3 of them. So I'm going to use... So I'm just thinking about the story. Maybe I should... No, I won't change it. Let's do Frankenstein. Actually, I could just copy and paste and then do the costumes. Nah, I'm just going to use this guy as a reference. Sometimes it's more fiddly trying to copy and paste and edit than it is actually just drawing on top. Yeah, we should make a little Discord. We had one before and then it got really messy. Yeah, this was like during COVID, so it was a very busy Discord and we couldn't handle the amount of people, and because it's constantly on, it was sketchy because because you would have something bad happen at like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. our time, and then we couldn't respond, and then there was all this drama and tears, and not like tears, but people were in different like what they had access to and not, and what authorities they had. And anyway, it was really messy and I think just a little bit convoluted. So if we make another one now, it's gonna have to be way chiller. Yeah, and bots can be crazy too, for sure. So yeah, we'd have to simplify, and I think just having it for people on Patreon would be nice as a starter. I know they're cool people, like it's not people who are just looking to annoy or spread meanness, they're just there for vibes. So we'll do that, and maybe also some separate ones for like YouTube, so you guys can like be specifically in the stream Discord and whatnot. I don't know if many people use Discord that actively. I know I used to, and then I kind of fell out of love with it just after all of the chaos, so less so now, but maybe I should get back into it, and we'll just find a way of avoiding all of the commotion. What's a music bot? I don't know what that is. Maybe, yeah, is that like a radio or something? I'm showing my age. Okay, so I'm using the pumpkin frames as a reference, and I kind of want their reactions to be slightly varied so that we don't, so it's not always the same thing. So maybe it'd be cute if they kind of do have the same expression, like back to back to back. You can make it play music in the channel. Oh, that's cool. Well, that actually sounds really simple. I was thinking that it's got the word bot in it, so I just thought it would be like super, I don't know, techy. Okay, that's it. Let's try this guy having his eyes closed. Actually, no, let's not. Let's keep it simple. Sometimes it's good to do a little bit of variation and see where you're at. Oh, nice to see you, Anna. Appreciate you dropping in. Yeah, thank you guys for showing up on a Tuesday. I know everyone's super busy. It's like Sunday stream, everyone can come chill, and then it's like Tuesday, oh no, we got real life. But yeah, it's nice. I was in the office, I was working, I was like, ooh, you know what? This would make for a pretty fun live stream, I think. But it's getting dark these days. It's getting spooky out there. A bit worried about walking back to the car. It should be fine. Cool, so just rough little reference for the pumpkin. And then his suit kind of goes up too, so I need to show that. And I'll use the buttons as a reference. So he's like, ooh. And he's like, ah. Ooh. Maybe a bit more of a squash in there. No, he's chuffed. That's cool. Yeah, then we have the head go back to normal. Can't forget the little metal things on the side too. No, I'll try not to get kidnapped. There's like someone just outside being like, I know where you stream. Grabs me, forces me to do another 2 hours. Finish the background from last stream. Fair enough. I think that's the only time I would willingly be captured, if they just held me accountable for for background drawing. Yeah, maybe this one could have a little bit of like a... Well, actually, I'll have Frankenstein do the same expression, and then the last one, it will have a variation on the expression. I think that could be cute. Love the tiny voice acting. I've never squeaked so much in my life. This is my internal monologue. So there we go. Oh no, I've done the face a bit wrong. So I want it to be more proportionally similar to the previous one, because the other one's an exaggeration. But I can just do that, and we're almost there. It's possible. It's not great. It's possible though. I just mess with that a little bit and then get rid of this line. What's that one? He was definitely cuter in the previous one. I think it was the chin. Ah, never mind. Never mind. Okay, so how does that play? Boop. I feel like the eyes should get bigger. This must look like an absolute mess, by the way. When you get a lot of frames going on, it just divulges into chaos. So you gotta keep your head and just power through sometimes. And then in between for this. Yeah. Okay. And then the outfit kind of pops back out a little bit. Squash and stretch. Never fails. Okay. I get really quiet when I have to draw circles. I wonder if there's a good way to learn to draw circles consistently, or just very clean lines. I don't think there is. You just have to do them over and over and hope for the best. Eventually it'll happen, but until then you can have some squiggly lines. Right, let's check this guy. Ooh, the exaggeration's a bit funky. What is going wrong here? Have I done it funny? I think I over confused this frame actually. Just gonna. Oh, he's gone. Where's he gone? So let's do it like this. And I'm just using this last frame as a reference, but imagining everything like half an inch lower and a bit more squished. That way I can stay pretty proportionate. Like so. I'd love to actually see some other animators doing their storyboards, because I imagine they're either way less meticulous or way more meticulous. There's no in between. Oh, Pablo, thank you. The YouTube ads gave me a mini heart attack. I'm gonna go ahead and turn them off whilst we're on live. I don't actually, can I? I think I can turn them off. I heard that, yeah, I've just turned them off. So hopefully no more ad pop-ups if that happens. But I'll put them on the VOD because you guys were late, so sorry. And I've also heard that YouTube kind of reduces the reach of a stream if they have the ads turned off, because then they can't make any money off the ad and they're just wasting server energy. So we'll find out. if we go down to like 2 viewers, I'll know what's up. And I'm gonna have to turn it back on, sorry. But I'll put them at the lowest setting. Yeah, they don't really they don't do much, I don't think. I don't know if I'm getting scammed by YouTube, but hey, there we go. Anyway, enough about that. We've got our Frankenstein done now, which is good. So just a little recap. He's popping. Got the pumpkin boy popping too. And now let's have the last one. I want to do the last one like dancing a little bit in anticipation. Kind of like hopping about. Just super excited for the candy. That could be cute. So just do the raccoon shape with a little bit of a vampire fringe. It's the fringe of a killer. That is a Twilight reference. Maybe he's... Ah, that's cute. I like that. With the little fangs too. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you, Anna. Looking spooky already. I don't know how spooky this stream will actually be, but we'll see. It's turning out to be like actually not very spooky at all. Misleading captions. Sorry, guys. But I am making an animation, so we're like halfway there. Nice. This might be a little bit tricky with the bowl. Yeah, I actually, oh, that's a really good idea. I should do Twilight Bean version. So we've got, oh, that's great. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I'll do, because that's Halloween-y. That's appropriate. Just do a rough one there. Cool. Yeah, maybe, I'm trying to think who would be Edward. Would Doggo have to be Jacob? Is that how that works? Yeah, movie themed costumes would be really cool. Yeah, this video is only 20% clickbait. Just deduct the spooky. Cool. So we'll have this little guy sort of bopping. I actually want his eyes to follow the hand a little bit. Looks like the cat bus from Totoro. Sort of got the same mouth. Oh, I tell you what, one of the coolest things I ever saw was the live performance of My Neighbor Totoro in London. And I don't want to spoil it, but the way that they, because it's all done with puppets, oh my goodness. It was crazy. And the way they did the cat bus was especially cool, because they had, no, I can't spoil it. It was wonderful though. If you're ever in London or wherever it's being played, definitely go and see the Totoro live performance. Okay, we got rid of the ads, don't worry guys. The fringe of a killer. Yeah, I hope Kevin's got a point. We need some bean costumes this Halloween. I always like it when people make pumpkins. I want to make a little bean themed pumpkin demo so you guys can follow the example and do it at home. Because the eyes can be kind of tricky. I remember I was at a pumpkin carving event with my family, and it was embarrassing. I tried to do the bean eyes and I failed miserably because the nose doesn't really allow for a clean cut. So you have to kind of work around it somewhat, but yeah, that's fun. I don't know, what's your guys' go-to pumpkin carving face? Cool, there we go. Turn my brightness up. Oh. Damn. Yeah, YouTube Premium is so expensive, but I tell you what, getting rid of those ads, not bad. And it's actually pretty cool. And I'm not saying this to be like get premium, but if you've got a YouTube Premium account and you watch one of our videos or something, I think that it pays like a little set amount rather than like a speculative ad revenue amount. But I mean, it doesn't really matter to us. Like we don't even monetize on the animations that much because they're too short. Like you kind of only really get paid like YouTube money if your videos are like 8 minutes long, and the nature of animation is it does not allow for that. So, well, maybe one day, we'll see. But anyway, we've got this guy doing a little jig. Dracula Raccoon has definitely had too much sugar. You've never carved a pumpkin? Julia, this needs to be like top priority. Oh my goodness. I couldn't imagine a Halloween where I don't do that. Anyway. Anna, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it, and have a lovely Tuesday. Yeah, how can you not carve a pumpkin? That's crazy. I mean, maybe it could be, I don't know if you live in a, oh my god, Kevin's never carved one either? Oh, what is going on? This is, my European brain cannot comprehend this. Is it because they don't sell pumpkins, or it's just not a cultural thing? I suppose that's like, I'm trying to think of, you know, if I was watching a Chinese streamer and I said I'd never like lit a lantern for New Year's, I guess it's like the same thing. Oh my goodness. Well, there we go. If you can find a pumpkin to carve, I'd highly recommend it. It's a great time, and just know that your first pumpkin is not gonna look cool. But or maybe it will. Maybe you'll have beginner's luck. I don't know. The biggest factor is getting the right tools. You're gonna need some good knives. Cool. So I'm gonna do. Oh, where's the other frame going? So he's gonna bop in, and then he's gonna turn the other way. So I'm just gonna get the reference for the shape of the head. That way I know what I'm doing. I love this guy's little expression. He's so excited. Little does he know he's getting a potato. He's not. He's getting real candy. Bean would never. Alright, that's pretty good. So now I'm gonna have him kind of bob to the other side. His eyes being like that. It's got a bit of a I need to go to the toilet kind of jig. Oh wait, this leg should be up like this. Bup, 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 and then bup. Sorry, I was bumping to the music. I'm trying to work out the pacing on this. And then goes up, and then I'll probably rotate him a little bit. Yeah, that's cool. And then I'll squish the body, but that sounds mean. I'm not gonna squish him. I'm gonna squish the raccoon, but the pumpkin's gonna kind of go up a little bit. That way you get a sense of a squishing motion in the animation. I don't know if this makes sense. No, it won't make sense until I actually draw it, and you'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah, so wait. But it does need to go a bit lower. Oh, shucks, I'm confused. See, it always starts off super strong, and then you get to like the midpoint of a storyboarding session, and it your brain starts to melt. Now that would be spooky. That would be a spooky stream. I'm gonna have to touch some wood. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. I suppose Halloween is a little bit of American propaganda. But hey, you get sweets. And I like the films, and the vibes can be kind of fun, and also it's kind of, well, I guess in places like Mexico they celebrate Day of the Dead and all that, but it doesn't have the exact same vibe as Halloween. It's a little bit more, respectful. Okay, let's see how that looks. What do you guys think? That's kind of fun. I like this little jig. There's cape going. And then this foot's gonna come up. And then the knee's gonna pop out a little bit. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, an excuse to scare children. This is what the holiday's all about, guys. I like that. I'm just gonna leave him playing for a minute. Very pleased with myself. Oh, cheers, Claudia. I actually haven't bought any decorations. I need to. This is unacceptable. We need to dress the office up too. It's looking... Well, I guess there's a few little... it's not really spooky though, but it is thematic. Oh, thank you, Kate. Appreciate that. Alright. I wish I could just keep him playing in the corner, but I can't. Alright, one more time. Oh, messed it up a little bit. Okay. And now I'm going to go back to Pumpkin Raccoon as a reference. Because we have to have this little fella assume the same kind of position at the end. And I'm just going to have him like... Oh. Maybe because he did a dance, Bean has given this little guy a really good candy. Or Bean was just a fan of the vampire fit. And do a little bit of an effect in the... That looks kind of gross actually, but we'll do it anyway, it's fine. Yeah, that'll be a funny loading screen. I was trying to, before the stream started, I was trying to make a new loading graphic for you guys in the waiting room. And I just couldn't get it exported in time, and I was like, I should probably start the stream now instead of faffing with this for an hour. And starting even later than I was meant to. Oh, cool. He can kind of have his like arms, his little arms stretched out. Yeah, that's cute. Valentine's is Friendship Day in Peru? That's a bit odd. Kind of nice though. I wish we had a little bit more celebration for a Friendship Day. That'd be cool. Gotta have your buddies. Okay. So now I need to do an exaggeration frame for that one. So it doesn't just hard cut in to that. I'll show you what that looks like. Well, that's kind of funny actually. I like that. Like what? Oh, that's cool. It's giving like an anime vibe. Let's try it with a little squash though. Or maybe I can. Nah, we'll do this. The most popular holiday in Wales. That's a tough one. I mean, obviously there's like Christmas and then Easter and all of those. The most famous and sort of relevant one to Wales though is St. David's, which celebrates a saint called David, who I learnt about in school and kind of remember the stories. I think he made a couple of bridges and like saved some people. and became a saint. And I think he was a lovely guy. I don't know. That was like 1,000 years ago. But yeah, we celebrate him, and it's more of like a springtime fair. Kind of the celebration of it not being horribly wet and rainy all the time and cold in Wales. We get a little bit of sun now, so and yeah, we celebrate that by dressing up in sort of an old school Welsh outfit, and we put leeks. Well, in school when I was a kid. Oh, Claudio's out. Take care. Have a great Tuesday. Thank you for joining. Yeah, when we're in school, we used to have to put leeks on our outfit, like the vegetable, and we'd pin that, and then also daffodils too, because they're like the national flower of Wales. So lots of daffodils, lots of leeks, and maybe a couple of Welsh cakes. It's a good time. Yeah, he's doing a little bit of an Oliver Twist here. He's dancing for the candy. Okay, so let's see how this one looks then. He's gonna pop up. You go pop. I like that. And we could even have the sort of little bit of saliva drool somewhat. Before the last bit. So let's do it like this. See how that looks. Doo-doo. It's kind of gross. I don't hate it though. It's fine. Nah, that's good going for me. Cool. So we're doing that scene. Boy, we got there in the end. That's a lot of raccoon drawing. And I actually don't know how to sort of send off this sequence. Should it be... Let's have a think. So, what have we done so far? Let's recap. This frame opens the door, ding dong, raccoons are here. Trick or treat. Bean's like, oh, so cute. And then starts to give them the candy, gives them the candy. And then, oh, that's it. Okay, so we have the next frame be this background again, and we'll have the raccoons walking towards us, and then Bean closing the door and says like Happy Halloween, and then closes the door. Next frame, Bean's walking away, and then the doorbell goes again, and he's like and then whips around, opens the door, realizes that they're back. Okay, cool. All right, we got a little bit of a plan. Nice. So I'm gonna get my references ready for this one, and I'm just gonna make this set the pinned reference. That way we don't have to redraw any backgrounds or anything silly like that. So I think to start we'll do Bean shouting Happy Halloween. And I can't for the life of me remember what the door looks like. Okay. Alright, something like that. Let's do that. Nice still outfit. Won't do the eyes, we'll just keep it as lines. I'll have the mouth be big. There we go. I'll put his feet back there. like that. Yeah, raccoons in a trench coat are coming up. You already know. It won't be a trench coat though. I'm thinking they're in a ghost blanket type thing. But there's a twist. Maybe. We'll see. I'll come up with an idea here. If it doesn't fly, then I will just put it in the Patreon. Oh man, it's 2 a.m. Oh, Kev, go to bed. Good night, dude. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful Wednesday, I guess. Yeah, thank you for joining, man. Cool. So now that we've got the bean reference there, we can hide that one. And I'll say, Happy Halloween. Very happy to be closing the door, getting away from the outside world. The raccoons have started to leave. There we go. Actually, I might just do him waving. I think that's cool. But the body moving doesn't look great, so I'll just redraw that. Actually, I'm gonna be cheeky and just copy and paste. Duplicate. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna dress up as this year. I'd like to do something. Usually my parents I have a lot of siblings, so we all kind of just go and have a Halloween party. And yeah, raccoons in a trench coat, such a good idea. Yeah, I don't know what to dress up as. I think we'll do like a murder mystery thing. And then for stream, I'll be dressing up as Bob Ross. And we'll do like a live painting thing. Probably Tuesday next week. So that's bean waving. Happy Halloween. Do a little text coming out. Forgot how to write. Nice. And then goes to shut the door. So now we gotta draw that. So the door's starting to close. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, I don't know if trench coat... trench coat is creepy, but maybe doesn't pass as a Halloween outfit. So that means sort of going back in. Like that. And then the next frame will be the door closing. And I like to do a little bit of an exaggerated door slam. Not that it's wholly necessary, but sometimes it just makes for like a cool effect. So, and the door's like that. And the way you do a door slam is just by curving the edges out first, and then you curve them back in. And then the door is normal. I'll show you what I mean. It'll make sense. So, curve it in. That's a little bit too much. I don't think Beam would be slamming the door, but he'll put a little bit of oomph behind it, maybe. Oh, thank you, Joy. Yeah, that animation we did for Milk, we've done a few actually. They're always really fun. they're great because they just let us do whatever we want for the most part, as long as we promote milk, which is, I'm fine for that. I really like milk, so not a bad brand deal. But yeah, we're really able to just animate whatever we want when we do those. And so the last one, we had been delivering milk to a bunch of alpine critters in the forest, and and the backgrounds were like super fun to make because they were so they just I love drawing forests and little environments, and yeah, so that was lovely. Had a lot of fun with that one. So I don't know if, I mean, yeah, maybe we should post it everywhere. I don't know. We've only put it up on YouTube, but I kind of feel weird if it's like an ad. It's just a little bit like, but I'm quite proud of it. So yeah. Milk's great. Yeah, milk is good. It's a good time. I mean, it sucks if you're lactose intolerant, but you can get lactose-free milk. I don't know if it tastes great, but yeah. So anyway, that's how you show a slamming door. If anyone wants to know, that's how you do it. And then do a little pop expression. There we go. And then slamming door. Not hard at all. The easiest thing to animate out of all that. Cool, so we've got the bean frames there of closing the door, and then I'll just do one frame to show the little raccoon dudes walking towards us. And when I edit this, I won't do a whole like walking cycle animation for it. I'll just literally move the frames up and down just to save time. Cool. So it's Frankenstein in the middle. Oh, actually, I might have to animate these because they're going to be chomping. We're going to have the newfound sweets. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a deep cut. Yeah, we did a collab with Kimchi, the drag queen. Gosh, that was like 2020 now. Oh my goodness, that was a while ago. That was so fun. So super out of my comfort zone. Like, I've never been around. I don't think I've ever seen a drag show. And I actually flew out to LA for the launch. And it was just so, there's some pictures online, I think, of me standing next to this 6'4" drag queen trying to sell our wares at an event. And then we did a video afterwards where Kimchi, God bless Kimchi, what a wonderful person, tried to put makeup on me. And we did like a little drag thing. And it was funny because I'm not really much of an influencer type. In fact, I'm not at all. The Bean is the influencer, but they were adamant on putting the makeup on me, and I felt very uncomfortable. But it was a fun time. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Joy. Yeah, the jewelry one was really fun. It was really fun designing those. Yeah, that was good. We definitely want to find maybe a little bit like higher quality. I don't know. I was just like, oh, it would be really nice to do jewelry and see how they look. And they sent us some samples and they were good. Yeah, it would be cool to make some really like Moomin level quality. That's the problem though, is you have to be, I mean, unless you make them yourself. We've been kind of umming and ahhing about like just making the stuff ourselves and doing small runs of stuff, because when you work with brands, it's great because you don't have to worry about all the details, but you also can sometimes lose quality in things. Yeah, it's, oh, what do I use to draw? I use an Procreate, just an iPad. But yeah, no, as I was saying, it can be, yeah, kind of tricky sometimes working with brands, and I'd love to make something and see the process like absolutely from start to finish. We had that a little bit with the plushies that we make, which is great, but with other stuff it'd be really nice to do that too. And yeah, so we'll see. I think oh yeah, the new Moomin movie's gonna be crazy. Yeah, I use an iPad and Procreate as the software. That's literally it. And then once the frames are done, so we're drawing the draft frames. I also draw the final frames in Procreate too, but I'm a little bit more precious about how they look. And then to finish up, I throw everything into After Effects on my computer and edit, and that's it. So yeah, these are some of the foreground frames for the raccoons walking away. Let me just add the little things on them too. But yeah, I think we want to make some calendars ourselves, maybe a couple of greeting cards for the holidays. Could be really cute. Just start small, just like see what's up. There we go. Because there's some really good people who make their own product as well. Ketnipz x Rolex collab. Now that would be special. I don't know about all that. Oh yeah, I have tried Procreate Dreams. I actually used Procreate Dreams for the last animation I did on Instagram, and it was pretty fun, kind of tricky. I think that it's just because it's a new app that it's a little bit complicated to use, but yeah, it was okay. And I used it because I wanted to do a rotoscoping effect, and yeah, that was way too hard to do in Procreate, so I used Procreate Dreams, and yeah, it was pretty good. It was fun, but I struggled, admittedly. How do I keep my frames organized? I guess that's a part of the process. I should probably show you. Let me go ahead and just do a quick screen share of like what I see. So you guys see the project canvas. This is what I see when I'm drawing, and that is, and just make sure it's in frame. So here's all of my layers. Each one of these is like a set of layers, and this is my foreground, so don't worry about the top one. So for example, my organization in this would be like having the foreground, background layers in here, and then the moving frames are all kind of in there, and I just compile them once they're done. Before then, it's just all not grouped or anything. I'm just drawing in the open here, and that's the way I like to do it. Probably messy and not. Oh, thank you, Yaya. I appreciate that. And Tattoo. I like that name. That's fun. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. So, progress. We've gotten to the bit where Bean closes the door, and it's going to be walking back into the house. Too advanced. I don't know about that. This is pretty crude. So yeah, Bean's going to be walking back in, and then kind of proud of himself. I should probably draw the background too before I get into how Bean's walking. Yeah, these steps are too exaggerated. I mean, it'd be funny if Bean kind of waddled because of the outfit. I feel like this costume does not allow for much movement. Right, there we go. And with the waddle, the opposite arm has to be slightly higher. That's fine. It'll do for now. Maybe this leg is a little bit more tucked, I think. See what that looks like. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no worries, Rachel. Thank you for asking. It's kind of cool. I mean, if I'm gonna do it behind the scenes, I should be thorough. So I want it to be almost like a top-down perspective, kind of with the door in the background. I mean, should I draw the bowl inside? I mean, Bean would have put it back out though. No, I'll do Brian in a banana suit. Yeah. So I'll just do a little bit of a coat hanger, and then typically with Bean's foyer area of the Bean household, there's a staircase here. So I'll just kind of show that. Nice. Move that down a little bit. I'll worry about like really cleaning all this up afterwards, but just for now, we're using it as a reference. And then I want it to be Bean is walking away, and then the door rings again, and then Bean sort of pauses and is like, oh, what, who's that already? So let's go ahead and make this one a background layer, and then see if I can't make a little waddle animation of Bean. Just something simple like that. The main thing is to just draw the opposite of what you previously drawn, and it'll look like a waddle. So in the last frame, the leg is kind of straight down and this one's out. So in this next frame, the leg is going to be, this leg is going to be straight down-ish. I'm going to actually tilt Bean a little so that we can get the leg position correct. Yep, nice. And then this one's going to be out, and then kind of looks okay. I guess this leg is now moving backwards, so it's going to be a bit further back. And then the in-between one will show one of the legs moving backwards. So this is how we do a funky walk cycle. This is, well, I've been doing this for 8 years, so it should be somewhat smooth, I would hope. Not smooth enough though. I see some people do it and it's just like, wow. I think it was actually a demo for Procreate Dreams that I saw recently, and oh my goodness, this guy was like 60 years old, animating his whole life, and he put together this animation of like Godzilla coming over a house and just like climbing over, and it was so smooth. It was just made me just feel like give it up. I was like, oh, all right. So that's the bar. Yeah, so okay, so this leg is gonna come out to kind of go around, but then shucks. Right, I'm gonna mess up here probably. So the leg has to come around because it doesn't have much mobility, and then this one is gonna be stuck kind of in between these two. So then here we go, like boop. I want it to go back a bit more here. Yeah, so kind of like that. Right, have I done them in a funny order? Yes, I have. Move the frames around, and then hopefully... Oh, you saw the same video? No way. That's cool. Okay, so we're both chronically online. Nice. Right. I'm just gonna do the in-betweens and hope for the best. This might be way too complicated for what it's worth. Yeah, it's looking a bit funny. So then the next frame in the walk cycle would be this one, where like Bean's coming back around. Kind of like that. Doesn't have to be too good. I can always finesse it afterwards. It's fine. But yeah, that's alright. And then the leg is coming back, and this one is now coming around again. Okay, so where I messed up was actually this one. The leg should not be up. Got it. Learning on the job. And that's how I do a walk cycle every time. I don't really know how to make it look super good, but there we go. It's almost perfect, except this one maybe should have... Wait. I feel like that right leg is whipping up too quick. So instead of this one flaring out, maybe it needs to be a bit more kind of out to the diagonal. Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's nice. Super duper. So we'll have Bean waddling away, and then the doorbell's gonna go, and Bean's gonna go, oh, who's there? Knowing full well it's the raccoons. So now we draw stationary Bean in a sort of shocked expression. Oh. There we go. Man, I really like this outfit. It's fun to draw too. He's just a silly little guy. But I want there to be a squish layer. Like this. Yeah, something like that. Looks a bit like a rugby ball. And his momentum's kind of gonna go behind him a bit. Yeah. So then the arms will come out slightly. Oh, and then back. Okay. Draw this one like this. Make the pupil slightly smaller because the next frame is going to be those like big ones. So that makes a nice sort of pop expression. Just like that. He is just a silly little guy. Honestly, that's the truth. That's it. Just a silly Billy. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. I think this is going to be a fun one. Bip bip. Ooh. Squash up and then back, and then could even do a little bit of a wobble. He's definitely going to be off balance in this outfit, so that would make sense. There There we go. Finish off the arms. And do the in-betweens on the legs. Okay. Pop. Nice. And then to make the wobble, I'm going to move that frame. So it's like, there we go. Nice. A little expression there. And then I need to do a ding dong again. And I'll do a little bit of an animation expression for this one. Like that. Oh. Cool. Just drawing them slightly offset. Like ding dong. Cool. That's it. How frequently do we go live? So I am trying to stick to a Tuesday and a Friday schedule with a few Sunday ones if I'm feeling it. I really like that because they're sort of the quiet days in the week, and yeah, it's pretty chill. And yeah, so Tuesday and Friday around the same time, typically starting 4 p.m. UK time until about 6-7. So it's actually a bit of a late one, this one. So 7 o'clock I'll usually end it, but I might go for maybe another half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. I'm having quite a lot of fun doing this, and I'm liking the progress. So he walks away, ding dong, and then I'm gonna do it as like a punch up where we see this scene again, but it's been sort of hesitantly opening the door, and then looks down and sees them all standing there. Yeah, let's do that. So let me get rid of that background. All right. So then we're gonna have this door frame and just the top part. So we're not revealing the raccoons yet. We're just focusing on that sort of torso level of Bean opening the door slowly. So that one's in. Doorbell. And then we're gonna have the door open. So I'll do it like this first. I'll keep it super simple. And because there's a bit of hesitation in the movement, we're gonna have the door like slowly move. Thank you, Andrea. Appreciate that. I'm gonna be cheeky and just copy and paste and just squash the door frame. And it should, as a first draft, it'll look fine. But for the final ones, we always like to animate the actual thing. Oh. Okay. Put that in the background. And I think this is about the halfway point in the actual animation. So I don't know if we've learned anything today, is that these things take a while. Especially when you're yapping too, but I don't mind it, it's pretty fun. So then we have Bean kind of popping out the door again. And I think the eyes are going to be a little bit more squinty, like, maybe a little bit more like concerned. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Super messy. Whoop. Color drop the eyes. I might move it down a little bit. Yeah. That's the good thing about Procreate too, is I'm so used to all of the little other tricks that you can use to sort of warp the frame slightly. You don't have to redraw everything every time. So this will be the final result with this one, and I'm just gonna pair these up. Oh shoot, wait. Do. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So then this next frame is gonna have Bean kind of beginning to pop out. Have his eyes open. Just a little concerned dude. He's like, what is it? Who's there? What's going on here? I'll put the hand in this one. Actually, the hand can go in this one too. Like that. It's looking a little bit too expressive though. I want that movement to be slower. So let's go ahead and duplicate the door layer and do another in between. And that way we can slow down the movement and not have it look so jumpy. Nice. I don't know if this will be like the actual next animation that we post, but it'll be like within the next week or so. And then I wanted to get a post out on Thursday as well. I don't know if we'll be able to swing it. We're kind of on a 2 post a week type thing, 2 to 3. And yeah, if it's a simple one, I'll get it done. I'm actually gonna add in another little frame just to really emphasize that movement. But I can probably just have Bean kind of move like this instead. Yeah, just like that. That's not bad. Kind of curious Bean. I find this movement a little bit strange. Let me go ahead and change the angle on Bean somewhat. Yeah, that's nice. Didn't miss the live stream, you're back. Hope work is alright. Them Tuesday meetings can be stubborn. Hold up. Done in. Cool. think we'll have Bean now do a little bit of an inquisitive face. And then yeah, maybe like look here and there and then realize that it's the raccoons again as he looks down. Yeah. Just something simple. And then this frame, oh, lost the door. I'm gonna make that a background layer. And this is all it is, guys. It's just putting one frame after the next. And then eventually, you got a little animation. Oh, that's funny. A non-English speaker. I guess, yeah, the videos are not very vocal. But yeah, I am an English speaker. Yeah. I always kind of like that Bean was a mute because, or just doesn't talk much. Because we're an animation show, so it makes sense that Bean would just be more expressive rather than vocal. I mean, depending on like the animation, but I enjoy this process, and kind of you can communicate a whole lot with just the visuals that you're making. You don't really always have to use voice, and I didn't particularly like voice acting or anything like that, so yeah, definitely just like the drawing part. And yeah, I also like it because when your character isn't reliant on a whole lot of English, then you can really hit different locations, and you know, you're not stopping people from around the world who maybe don't speak English enjoying your work, which is a really fun thing to think about. And obviously we could get it like translated and stuff, but yeah, for the scale we are, that would be super complicated. Okay, so we've got the shocked expression there, so let's just do one little small one. It's like, oop. Just doing that little frame in between makes the animation feel so much more energetic. I'd love to do one of these when it's like a really complicated animation. That would be fun, but it would take a while. Oh man, that's so cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's fun. I think like these lives are just nice for the hardcore people who want something just to play in the background. It's kind of the same way I use YouTube. Oh, hey Jennifer. I just like to have it like something on in the background whilst I'm working. So if you don't mind hearing me yap, I'll continue to do these. Cool. We're all getting our work done. It's like a study group. Maybe I should change that. That's the name of the title. Ketnipz work study / study group, or hobbies. So yeah, Sabine opens the door, shocked expression, and then we'll look down. So I probably don't even have to make a new layer for that. I can just get rid of the pupils. Sounds creepy. And then looks down. And then I think I'll play the exact same animation I did before of them saying trick or treat. That way I don't have to do it again. So imagine, just assume that the next frame is them all saying trick or treat again. And then we cut to maybe a wide of, yeah, so it's that one, and then where's it gone? Was that the, oh no, have I lost it? Wait, no, it's here, right? Work smarter, not harder. True. That is all well and good until I lose frames. Oh no. Bother. Well, I haven't really lost frames, but I've... here they are. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Okay. So we're gonna go back to this one afterwards, minus this foreground. Okay. I still don't know what happened to the raccoons standing at the start. Oh, they're here. Haha. Nice, found them. So I'll use this one as a reference again, but I'll start working on a new little bit. Okay. Okay. We're back. Panic over. So, oops. I'll make this a foreground, and then what I want to show is Bean kind of looking a little bit annoyed and then pointing at the sign, and then we'll do a close-up of the sign. But then I don't really know how Bean can like politely say goodnight to them. I don't think there's any, like, I'm gonna make Bean look like such a douchebag. Not just giving them another one. Maybe Bean could be holding the door, points at the sign, and then they look really sad, and Bean's like, oh, fine, and then gives them another one. That could be cute. And then when they come back, Bean's like really annoyed. Or is that just a waste? Or should we just get straight to the point? Because at the same time I'm doing all of this, I'm also trying to think like, how long is this animation going to be? Because I should not be making them over a minute long. And if we even like just doing those extra bits of animation, it can really add up. So sometimes you gotta just keep to the simple ideas. Okay, so Bean is looking stubborn. Maybe I think you'd be tapping a toe in disapproval. Yeah, Bean invites them in. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Bean's trying to watch a film and he just knows them raccoons are going to be a trouble. And they're stinky as well. But no, that is a cute idea. Cool. So we'll have Bean tapping a toe. And then we'll sort of lean out and show the sign. Like that. Maybe something like that. It's a funny expression. I don't think this one should be like the final frame that it ends on. You just move them down. So it could be like this. And then points up at the sign. Another good animation rule is anytime you have a character sort of move from one spot to the other and you want them to be somewhat expressive, you have a little bit of a curve in their movement. So if you look at the top of this to the top of there, it's sort of curving like that instead of just being a straight line over. I guess with this character, it would make more sense if it was just like a sway straight line, because Bean has a limited sort of frame. But yeah, sometimes it's a nice thing to try and do. So, bop, and then Bean kind of pops back up like that. And then like taps the sign. Yeah, that's nice. Maybe even this leg comes up a little bit. Yeah, cool. Bean is very cute and a bit moody. Agreed. Okay, that's pretty nice. I like that. We could have Bean maybe tapping the sign. Yeah. A little bit of a disco move. I dig it. Maybe, oh, that would be cute if the raccoons look at the sign and then like blankly look back at Bean like, what did you just say? Kind of unable to read English. Alright, I'm just gonna do them rough like this. Simple. Yeah, this is very Flipnote Studio vibes. Man, I love that. I should do a Flipnote Studio stream. That would be so fun. Honestly, I don't think I'd be an animator if it wasn't for Flipnote. And I wish I could find like all the animations I made as a kid. Alright, there we go. The body's kind of stubby again. And I'll do the costumes too. Cute. There we go. I'm gonna hide that background layer. I'm realizing now how messy my line work is. That's pretty nice though. It's okay. It does the job. Yeah, I'll do like a blank expression as they sort of turn around. And then the outfits. So we had this guy as Frankenstein. This guy is Pumpkin. I've done that. Cool. And then Vampire. Nice. So they kind of look at the sign. And maybe we could have Bean's hand at the top, kind of pointing. Not necessary. We know where they're looking. And then they kind of look back at Bean like, what do you mean? And then Bean caves and just gives them another candy. And just imagine that Bean is in this top left corner. Lovely. Yeah, if I could find someone else who illustrates to come on a live, I was trying to think of ideas of like what could we do? Is there like a competition we could do where we try and draw the same characters or different characters, our characters in different styles? That could be fun. So they kind of just turn around like, what I mean. Blank stare, raccoons. Oh, thank you, Jelly. Appreciate you. Yeah, there's more than just me on the Ketnipz crew. We have Ollie, who does all the audio. Matt, my stepbrother, helps with some of the editing. And then, yeah, a few more people who help liaise and help with, yeah, just all the sort of behind the scenes bits. It might seem quite like simple on the surface, but I'm way too dumb to be running the whole thing. We've got Patreon, merch, all these different things, and so we've got a little bit of a crew, and but it's still tiny. We're still like a tiny crew compared to most companies. But yeah, like it. Nothing too crazy. And we'd love to maybe expand the crew at some point. Maybe work with another animator to speed up the process. I've done that in the past and it's definitely good. But it can be, you end up spending a lot of time training someone instead of actually making work, and then you kind of fall into the trap of like, oh, I'll just do it myself. Which is not good. Like, you should just be able to commit to taking the time to teach. But it's just hard when you're running a company and things have to be done on time and everything. So yeah, it's crazy. But hopefully we can get to that point. And I think finding an animator where I live would be really cool, because then it's like you can teach them in person instead of online or something like that. And everything online is like cool because you can find anyone, but then if you're trying to do something like teach, and especially animation, that can be quite tricky to do without actually just being in the same room and saying, oh no, it's done like this, or I do it like this. And the back and forth can end up being quite tedious. So, but anyway, it's a goal. It's a goal. I think I really enjoy the process of sort of writing and storyboarding, and I'd love to continue to do that. The other stuff, like the finishing up and whatnot, I think the quality of that is really dependent on the quality of the storyboarding, and as long as I can keep doing that, I'm happy. But definitely finding other animators and people to work with would be great. Right, my Apple Pencil is gonna die soon. Dang it, that's not good. Wait, how long have I been streaming for? Okay, about 2.5 hours. That's pretty good. Oh, thank you, dude. God of Pain Bella. What an awesome name. Yeah, we're still like a tiny crew. So it's not like a Studio Ghibli or anything, obviously. But hey, maybe one day. So a lot of these other guys, they kind of start off working for a company and then will branch out and make their own team. And I've done it a little bit backwards. Not to say that we're like making a full-on studio or anything, but since we're just starting out as a team, I'm still learning the basics of like an animation pipeline and what that process would look like bigger, with bigger productions. So I kind of have two options. I can either keep winging it or work with an actual studio and produce something and then try and make our own studio in the future. And that's cool. It would be really fun, like to have that opportunity to work with a studio is incredible. But I do worry that if I went and worked on something else or did something too far away from Bean just to get work experience, then we'd kind of lose some of, we would just lose time working. Like I couldn't do live streams if I had another full-time job. So yeah, it's just a tricky one. I just don't really, I know that we'll make the right decision eventually and it'll work out. But yeah, I'd love to make a TV show. That would be super fun. And I don't think that's possible for us to do in the near term without working with a studio. That would be silly. But we'll take baby steps for sure. Beanland would be better than Disney for sure. So I've just done the raccoons looking over. Now the next frame is going to be that close up on Bean again, so I can use this background. Oh wait, where's it gone? I have to make a new background. So yeah, the next frame is going to be Bean kind of giving up and then looking stern and then going, fine. So let's do the silly outline of the costume. Stern Bean expression. Jennifer asks, how do you feel having a crew? Is it easy for you to let other people draw Bean? That is the trouble. So there's examples where, so I do a lot of the drawing myself and sometimes outsource it. And it's tough because it's like, there's a certain way to draw it, and I can be a little bit like, oh no, it's this way, and get lost in the weeds when actually there's no difference. The biggest way to help with that is to just ask someone else. And see if they can notice the difference. But yeah, it's hard when you've been drawing something for so long and then you have to delegate. It can be quite daunting. So yeah, I don't know, but I've done it before with other projects. So when we made the music video with Boy Pablo a few years ago, which is called Feeling Lonely by Boy Pablo. It's on YouTube. It's got like 6 million views, which is crazy. And when I did that, I just did the storyboard, and We got some bean daddies in the chat. Comment bean daddy if you're awake right now. That sounds really weird. So when we made the music video, obviously I couldn't make a whole music video myself, and I actually had done very minimal animation at that point, other than like very basic stuff, and I outsourced all of it pretty much, and they were really lovely. We worked with a team in Norway who were just incredible animators, and they followed my storyboards and came up with some of their own ideas, and then they kind of, it just got produced, and there were some frames where overall it was an incredible video, and I was super duper happy with the quality of it, and the story held up, and the characters, like, personalities, really, they looked good. Okay, sorry guys, you don't have to say it. What was I saying? But yeah, some of the frames just did not look like Bean, and Doggo as well. It's kind of questionable. So yeah, overall, great experience. But I definitely, if I did that again, I would want to be more involved in the final process. And I think it's just because that one had a really quick turnaround. We didn't have a lot of time to work on it because the song was already out, so they were like, we need the music video as soon as possible. And yeah, that was a crazy time, but cool. So we've got Bean Daddy looking defeated, and then we'll hand them another candy afterwards. Only silly Billy's in the chat. So yeah, I'd love to work with a studio on something bigger scale, but it would probably, I wouldn't want to be like in the trenches, like a Miyazaki or something, where they're drawing every frame. I think that's unsustainable. And also, there's really talented animators out there who that's funny. There's really talented animators out there who, they're probably better at animating than you, so why would you hurt the overall end product by denying them the ability to animate? All you can do is really direct better and be clearer with, how characters should look and how this and that should come together. I mean, when you look at a big animation and the amount of people who, the amount of time it takes to make a show and how many people are involved, especially 2D, frame by frame, there's just no way you could ever make something big without delegating. And so I feel like I'm just yapping to myself, but I'm just being like, you need to chill and let some other people do the work. But I enjoy it too. Like, this is honestly so much fun. Just like seeing something come to life, and then afterwards it's really satisfying, just being like, oh, that's what I did. I made that. That's cool. If you draw but you've never animated, I would 100% recommend it, even if it's just on transparent paper and doing it the old-fashioned way. There's something super satisfying about seeing something come to life, and not to be a little bit like, what's it called, philosophical, but I do think that animation and movies in general are so satisfying, because you take like a still medium and you combine it with music and movement, and it's like capturing like real life in a little bowl, even though it's a dinky little animation. Oh, that's so sweet. Man, you should definitely do animation. You should give it a go. Yeah, I love stop motion, but that is like next level patience. That is that's something I'm just I leave that to Aardman and Guillermo del Toro. I'm good. I think 2D animation is enough brain power use for me. I'd probably be overwhelmed. Although I'd love to be a fly on the wall at like Aardman or somewhere like Wallace and Gromit, and just seeing their process would be so cool. Because it's got to be super complicated. And I would be, oh man, can you imagine if you like put in a bunch of work on one scene and then you messed up something afterwards? Oh, that would suck. But then on the other hand, when you make something perfect, you're like, whoa, that would be super satisfying. Oh, okay, just like a group project. Oh, that's still sick though. That's still like, man, our school, I don't think we ever did any stop motion or anything like that. In Wales, you just taught like rugby. That's about it. They don't really, I mean, you can find it, but there's not a huge promotion of the arts or anything like that. More as in primary school, but yeah. So we have been sort of go from mildly annoyed to like fine. And then I think the next frame will be the raccoons again. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I was in those little groups too. I remember going to a film school actually, like when I was 11. It was on a Saturday at like a local cinema, and I think my parents just dropped me off there to get me out of the house. And I just quit like gymnastics and stuff, and so they were like, go do this instead. And we would just watch old movies all day. Not all day, like for 5 hours we would watch Hitchcock, scenes from like Kubrick films, Steven Spielberg, all these amazing directors. And I love directing as a craft. I think it's like incredible, and I'd love to do more of it. This is like mini directing. it's like I'm the cameraman and the actors all at the same time, but they're just drawn, if that makes sense. But I love that, and that definitely got me super hyped into it. Right, I'm getting told off because I'm meant to go have food. I'm gonna finish this frame and then I'm gonna head home. Oh, there's a clay shortage? That's insane. I didn't think there'd be that many like clay animators out there, but apparently. Damn. Well, I have some clay at home. Maybe they can take it off me. I'd rather them put it to good use than have it go off in my cupboard. Okay, so they're gonna be holding the things again. So in this scene, I'm gonna have Bean reach out a hand full of candy again, and they'll be like, ah, and then they we'll cut to like Bean sitting down on the sofa. Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock is super creepy. Probably wasn't a cool dude, but I mean, kind of did a lot to put together modern cinema as we know it. You can like ask me. I guess he did like forced perspective and things. He was kind of the first guy to do that. And then the one that we really learned was Spielberg and Jaws. Jaws is incredible for just like a bunch of camera techniques, and Spielberg's like really interesting because he has that unique style, and all of his films you can watch them and they can be completely different thematically, but they all have that similar energy. Maybe it's just the score, like they all have the same music. Oh, okay. You guys are probably like wanting to dip out. we've been drawing for a while, actually. No, I get that. I'm actually really hungry too, but I also enjoy yapping. Yeah, when Kev was like, it's 2 a.m, I need to go, I was like, oof. Right, let me just finish this pumpkin boy and then we'll head out. But yeah, thank you guys for joining a Tuesday stream. Appreciate it. Hope you guys have had a chill one. And wherever you are, make sure you eat some good food. And text your mom. Do that today. Send your mom a text. And just, let her know that you love her. That would be a nice thing to do, I think. And you can say, Harry told me to do it. And or don't. You don't have to. She'd be like, who's Harry? Be like, oh, he draws raccoons on the internet. He is the messenger. Anyway, right then, should we do more of this next stream, or should we? Oh no, it's like 12 there. 5:30 a.m. for Joy Scott. Okay, good grief. Right, we'll do them earlier next time. Oh, that makes me feel bad. Oh, okay. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really like this process, and it'd be fun to pick this up soon again and show a bit more of it. I think with the deadline on this one, because Halloween's coming up, we probably will just have to move on and work on a new one. But I've really enjoyed this. It's nice to kind of yap the process and let you guys in on some inside baseball. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining, and have a lovely rest of your Tuesday/Wednesday. And yeah, okay. All right, good night guys.